Hello, I'm Brad Schoenwald with the Cruise Ship National Center of Expertise, and today we're going to talk about the Cruise Ship Scorecard. The Cruise Ship Prevention Scorecard has been a long-term goal that began over 10 years ago. Early on, we recognized how the Center for Disease Control, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, with their vessel sanitation program, significantly incentivized performance from the ship's crew. The identification of a hard score brought awareness to the public, but more importantly, it gave the ship's crew an identifiable result of how well they were doing on board the ship to maintain compliance. While it may have seemed easy for us to develop a U.S. Coast Guard scorecard, the reality was we needed to first establish a quality exam process that could be consistently followed, repeated, and then audited. The result was the development of a long-term quality improvement process that incorporated 6 implementation steps. This process is rooted in the principles and objectives from the U.S. Coast Guard's Performance Improvement Guide and the U.S. Coast Guard Mission Support Action Plan. Step 1. The systematic review of the foreign passenger vessel exam process. The result of this review was the development of the holistic examination process and build-out of the Mission Management System work instruction, which outlined the workflow to be followed to properly conduct a quality exam. We then learned about tactics, techniques, and procedures. We identified this would be a much better place to house the process, and the foreign passenger vessel examination was the very first prevention-related TTP to be developed. Step 2. Completely modify our training programs to support and teach the holistic examination process. The Foreign Passenger Vessel Examiners course was significantly overhauled to deliver what the expectations were while conducting an exam. The knowledge and learning parts were reduced while the human performance and process action was added and emphasized to promote better consistency of exam process and better human performance from our examination teams. Step 3. Develop job aids as performance support tools to aid the process flow aboard the ship while the examinations were being conducted. The old 840 books were removed and new performance job aids were designed and implemented to work as support tools for the teams examining the ships. Step 4. The voluntary audit program. A quality process cannot succeed unless it's verified. Our voluntary audit program became a non-intrusive option for commands to have us observe their teams in the field, measure their performance against the standards and expectations found in the TTP, and then provide a report out as well as on-the-spot training if needed. Step 5. The Missile User Guide. Our audits revealed some alarming nonconformities showing great disparity in how deficiencies were being linked to regulation and then recorded in the missile. We discovered there were over 3,000 different potential sites within missile to record cruise ship deficiencies. This number was alarming and provided a huge problem with consistency and quality data pull that was being written as deficiencies aboard the ships. By combing through all the potential entries, we were able to pare down the list to just 345 potential entries. This has dramatically increased the quality of the deficiencies being written and then data going into missile, which gives us much better reporting within our own systems. Finally, step 6, build the scorecard. For a few years, we worked to find the best way to develop a numerical scoring value to measure prevention. We looked at some of the work done by Homeland Security in the prevention of terror attacks, the business balance scorecard, the risk reduction value and work done by Lieutenant Commander Josh Buck, as well as other prevention measurement studies that were done, but in the end never produced a real outcome that was actually employed in the U.S. Coast Guard prevention work. The problem continued to be, how do you measure prevention accurately? How do you prove a negative? Then a thought. We should be measuring our performance. We should recognize that when a quality process is conducted, The results of the process are what the examination reveals, and yes, we can measure this. In late 2016, we began planning for and were very fortunate to get picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard's Research and Development Center for fiscal year 2018-2019 solicitation for Research and Development Test and Evaluation Program. We began the development with the RDC in October of 2018. The RDC took our idea and developed the risk-based methodology using our desire to define a quantitative risk metric found during our examination of cruise ships. The final product and report from RDC was completed in March of 2020. The U.S. Coast Guard Cruise Ship Scorecard. This measures our performance, provides a human performance incentive for both the examination team and the cruise ship crew, provides much better deficiency data that now can be visualized and better understood, provides risk-based review for third-party evaluators such as P&I clubs, classification societies, flag states, and of course the cruise lines themselves, saves examination team time aboard the ship and in the office, provides a clear and easy-to-read Form A and Form B complying with the statutory requirements of IMO as a port state control contracting government, provides quality data for us to use as a human resource savings and identification of system or fleet risk issues, and is a performance support tool that facilitates the administrative completion of forms, data entry, and saves a lot of time. Now let's take a look at the cruise ship scorecard and show you how it works. Each unit that conducts cruise ship exams is going to receive a package from the Cruise Ship National Center of Expertise. Within this package, you'll either get a Surface Go or a Surface Pro. These will be loaded with all the required software as well as a training video to guide you through the use of the scorecard, and they have the same functionality. In addition, you'll have a booklet, and within this booklet is going to be a contents list, an 1149 that must be completed by your unit property officer, 2 MMS documents that outline the use of the scorecard, and a copy of the missile user guide. You will also have a mouse and an approved secure thumb drive. This is the thumb drive that you'll use to transfer the completed Form A and Form B to the ship's computer, where they can then be printed, then signed. After they're signed, simply use the camera application on your tablet device, take the photograph of the completed Form A and Form Bs, then when you return to the unit, you can again use the secure thumb drive to transfer everything to missile via a Coast Guard standard workstation. Go users, you'll also have the USB micro attachment so you can use it with the Surface Go. If you have any questions at all, contact the Cruise Ship National Center of Expertise.
Okay, now we're going to walk through actually using the Cruise Ship Safety Scorecard. On the tablet device that we sent you, you will find the Cruise Ship Safety Scorecard folder. Open this up, and within it you will find the blank Form A, blank Form B, and Cruise Ship Safety Scorecard Access Database. These 3 files must be kept in the same folder in order for everything to work properly together. So let's open up the Cruise Ship Safety Scorecard and we'll begin to fill it out. The date is going to auto-populate, and now we can type in the exam location. Followed by the missile activity number and the ship's IMO number. Vessel name, and then the drop down for the type of exam, and we'll do an annual. Once this is completed, we can now begin to enter any deficiencies found. So for the first one, we'll do a fire safety. Vessel system, you drop down, and this opens up all of the 14 potential vessel systems to write for a passenger ship. 7 is fire safety, and there is no subsystem. all of the codes, all of the system, subsystem components match missile. So if it doesn't exist in missile, it's not going to be here. Vessel component, it'll be fire doors and openings in fire resisting division 07105. Now for the deficiency site. This is where you must select the appropriate convention and regulation for the ship you're on and what you found. In this particular case, it's 012230. You'll see that it automatically drops some verbiage in the deficiency write-up. Some of them are going to be very specific, and some are going to be just a few lines to get you close and get you started. And that's because the potential of what could be is so broad and so big that we had to leave it a little smaller in some of these broader ones. However, some will be very, very specific. These were actual deficiencies I pulled from missile, so I'm just going to go ahead and paste them in. There we go. The construction of doors and door frames in A divisions. It's right from 30.2. In the deficiency site, you can edit it. You can change it to make it more specific as required. Now you'll note we can't proceed because we haven't added severity. In this particular case, they gave them 14 days to the satisfaction of the Coast Guard and class. Once that's completed, you can check it. If you want to, spell check it, and then add deficiency to record. You'll see that as soon as we did that, it cleared everything below type of exam, so now we're ready to enter another deficiency. So for this, we'll do life-saving appliances, operational readiness. So we go to 11, life-saving, no subsystem, and operational readiness. Scroll down to 9. There we go. The deficiency site, 20.2. Automatically put in before the ship leaves port and at all times during the voyage. So now all we have to do is put in the condition found. Alright, a lifeboat was taken out of service, and here's why. They also reduced the passenger count and issued a short-term PSSC by class. So the severity was 30 days. Alright, add deficiency to record. So another fire safety. This one's going to be means of escape. So vessel component, we'll go ahead and scroll down, and there we go, 07120. Don't forget, you can also use the missile user guide to help you find what is going to be the best site for the condition found. So we know it's 2213. There we go. Means of escape from control stations, accommodation spaces, and service spaces. Well, yes, but that does not adequately talk about the condition found. So in this particular case, it had to do with the locking devices or the thumb screws. So we'll go ahead and put that in. And now we have to modify our deficiency site to accurately reflect what we found. In this case, it's 13.3.2.6.2.3. We drilled it right down to the appropriate deficiency site. And for severity, they gave them a little bit of time in this case. Add deficiency to record. Okay. Hopefully you're starting to get the hang of this. Now let's do another fire door. You know when the fire doors close longer than 40 seconds or quicker than 10 seconds? So it's going to be fire safety. Again, no subsystem. 07105 for fire doors. And the deficiency site under 2.2 is reg 9.4. Alright. Again, openings and bulkheads. But if this is a time one, then it's going to be main vertical zone, galley bulkheads, etc., etc. So we have to go back up and modify the deficiency site to accurately reflect the condition found. Alright, and the severity, 16, C. Add deficiency to record. All right. Now we have to match missile, right? Well, missile doesn't account for everything. So when you come across the combustible waste receptacles and you're looking for what component, it doesn't exist because it doesn't exist in missile. So every one of the 14 categories does have an other. You come down to the other, it will score out here based upon the vessel system, and now you have to actually type in the entire thing, which is pretty easy to do, right? You look up the deficiency in SOLAS, find the proper regulation, apply whatever severity you determine is appropriate for the condition found, and then of course fill in the deficiency write-up. Once it's all completed, add deficiency to record. All right, now let's do a training one. This will be life-saving, but it's going to be specific to onboard training and instruction. So we keep coming down. 31, onboard training and instruction. The deficiency site, 19.4. All right, onboard training and the use of the ship's life-saving appliances. But in this particular case, it was that the crew could not launch one life raft in sufficient time to meet the 30 minutes required. But the 30-minute required is regulation 21 in chapter 3, but that's not applicable to crew training. It's applicable to arrangement. So we cite crew training, but we reference chapter 3, regulation 21. Paste that in. Don't forget to include the severity, and in this particular case it was a 17C prior to departure. Now for 17s it adds a 10% multiplier to the deficiency score. For 30s, full SOLAS detentions, it adds a 20% multiplier to the deficiency score because quite honestly the risk is more severe. Once that's all completed, add deficiency to record. All right. Now let's do another fire safety. No subsystem. Vessel component. This has to do with the storage of flammable liquid outside of a category 14. So where are we going to place that? Well, it's divisions of bulkheads because they're putting things in a space that isn't suited for flammable liquids. So the deficiency site, this is 01, is going to be 26. All right, it's actually going to be 26.2.2. The severity was prior to departure, and it shows minimum integrity for the decks right here. Well, we're going to add the flammable part and then add the condition found. There we go. Make the proper edits, add deficiency to record. All right, we'll do one more. This will be another crew familiarity. Life-saving, no subsystem, vessel component, onboard training and instruction. Efficiency site's going to be 19.4, and comes up onboard training and the use of the ship's life-saving appliances. And we find out that the port side lifeboat team was unfamiliar with descent units. They didn't know what they were used for, didn't know how to use them, etc., etc. Place that in, and then you determine what the appropriate severity is. Add deficiency to record. Okay, we've entered all of the deficiencies. Now we want to take the time to go ahead and review everything. So we bring up the inspection summary, and we can go through, make sure that everything is written properly, and if we find an error, simply return to the scorecard, go down to the edit block, pick up which one requires additional work, make the necessary changes, and then add it back to the deficiency record when completed. Once that's all done, now we have to generate our Form A and Form B. Generate Form A. This may take a few moments. And here comes our Form A. For the purpose of this recording for training, I'm going to go ahead and reduce it. When you do this on your tablet, it will size properly on the device. Now we can finish the data entry. It has to be completed here. And you'll note just above where the master signs it is where the exam score is recorded on the Form A. This is our internal measurement. Of course, it's reflective to the condition found on the ship, but it's used for a Coast Guard internal measurement of how much risk was identified by the examination team. Once you've completed the Form A, all you have to do is close it, and it will automatically save utilizing the activity number. And it'll save it to the folder right where we started. Once that's all done, now we can generate the Form Bs. The system will automatically generate as many Form Bs as required. So if you've got a lot of deficiencies or a lot of descriptive verbiage for what you found on the ship, don't worry about it. Just type it all out and it'll print as many as needed. You can also make changes here if needed. The only thing that you really have to do is once you know how many pages actually were generated, you have to fulfill this. The system knows where it started, but it doesn't really know where it ended. So you have to figure out how many pages of Form Bs you have and type in the appropriate number right there. And again, once you've completed everything, go ahead and close it, and these will automatically save to that folder. Also note that it auto ranks all of the deficiencies by severity. So 30s are going to be number 1, 17s are going to be below that, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to worry about doing it. It automatically takes care of it for you. Okay, done processing. Now we'll close the scorecard and we go to the folder right where we started. And within this folder, you'll see the Form A and the Form Bs. Now, take your secure thumb drive that we provided for you, and you can copy these documents to that secure thumb drive. Then, you take that secure thumb drive, go to the ship's computer with the ship staff, print out the Form A and Form Bs, bring them back to the table with the captain. All the documents are signed. You simply take your tablet device, take a photograph of the signed Form A and Form Bs. Those will now be saved to your tablet, and as soon as you get back to the unit, you can use that secure thumb drive that is approved for use on a Coast Guard standard workstation and upload everything directly into Missile. All right, thanks very much for your time. We really hope you're going to enjoy using the Cruise Ship Safety Scorecard. We want to hear from you. So if you have any feedback at all, what you like, what you don't like, where you think we might be able to improve, please give us that feedback. Send us an email, give us a phone call. We really do want to hear from you out in the field. Be safe. Semper Paratus.